Dear women, you know, they say time heals everything, but what about the kind of time that feels like it's standing still? The time between one negative pregnancy test to the next, the time between doctor's appointments, hormone treatments, prayers whispered in the dark, the time when your heart breaks just a little more every time someone says, "It'll happen when it's meant to." Let's be real, infertility is not just a word, it's a journey, a storm. And sometimes it feels like it's happening only to you, like the world is moving on with baby showers, happy announcements, family photos while you're stuck in a silent loop of hope and heartbreak. But here's the truth, you are not alone, you are not broken, and this season you're walking through, as painful as it is not the end of your story. In fact, it might just be the beginning of the most powerful chapter of your life. I'm not here to give you a miracle pill. I'm not here to promise that everything will happen exactly the way you want it to, but I am here to tell you there is power in your hands, there is healing in your words. There is hope in your spirit, and if you're willing to take that pain and transform it into purpose, these 5 things I'm about to share might just change everything. Because becoming a mother, it doesn't start in the womb. It starts in the heart, so listen closely, do not click away, stay with me, not because I have the answers, but because you deserve to be heard, to be healed, and to believe again. You deserve a life not ruled by fear, shame, or silence. And maybe, just maybe, these 5 shifts will open a door that's been waiting for you all along. Number 1, speak kindly to yourself. Not just when you're having a good day, but especially on the days when everything hurts. Tell yourself, I am worthy, I am whole, I am not defined by my medical report. This isn't about ignoring science. This is about activating your spirit, your inner world, to rise above what tries to crush you. Number 2, build your circle. You don't have to do this alone. Find women who have walked this road, who will cry with you, laugh with you, pray with you. The strength of community can hold you up when your knees can't. Even just one voice saying, "Me too," can be the light in your tunnel. Number 3, take your power back. Doctors are incredible. Medicine is amazing. But don't forget your emotional, physical, and spiritual alignment plays a role too. Nourish your body, cleanse your mind, meditate, pray, release the guilt. You are not at war with your body, you are learning to love it into healing. Number 4, surrender without giving up. There's a difference between surrendering and quitting. Surrender says, I'm not in control, but I still believe. It's peace, not passivity. Release the timelines. Stop checking the calendar like it's a countdown. Life has a rhythm, and sometimes surrender is where miracles grow. Number 5, prepare in faith. Make space in your life as if your dream is already on its way. Buy the journal, research baby names, set up the corner of a nursery, speak to your future child like they're already listening. Why? Because faith isn't just believing, it's preparing. And preparation is the language of expectation. If you take anything from this, let it be this. You are not less of a woman because you haven't conceived yet. You are not a failure. You are not forgotten. You are powerful. You are worthy. You are already a mother in the making, whether your journey includes IVF, natural conception, surrogacy, adoption, or something we can't even predict yet. This path, this fight, it's shaping you, and one day you will look back and say, that was the moment I rose. Not because it was easy, but because you didn't give up. Hold on, believe again. And when it finally happens, when that heartbeat is finally yours to hear, you'll realize every tear, every prayer, every why me was not in vain, because the journey to motherhood doesn't just give you a child. It gives you back yourself. Speak kindly to yourself. It sounds simple, almost cliché, but for anyone who has walked through the heavy shadows of infertility, you know this is not a luxury, it is a lifeline. Every single day, you wake up carrying the weight of expectations, hopes that feel delayed, and questions that have no clear answers. You go through blood tests, hormone shots, doctor's visits, and awkward silences at dinner tables when someone unknowingly asks, "When are you having kids?" And in the middle of all that noise, internal and external, the loudest voice is often your own, the one inside your head, the one you've forgotten to monitor, to care for, to guide, the one that says, "Maybe it's me," the one that whispers, "Maybe I'm not enough." And that voice, that inner monologue, is powerful. It has the ability to either build you or break you. If your body is already under pressure, your spirit cannot afford to echo cruelty. Because the most intimate relationship you will ever have is not with a spouse, a doctor, a friend, or even a future child. It is with yourself. So speak kindly, speak truthfully, not with denial, but with dignity. You may not realize it, but every cell in your body is listening to you. Your heart responds to your thoughts. Your nervous system mirrors your beliefs. Your hormones react to your stress. So when you speak defeat over yourself, your body feels it. And when you speak grace, your body feels that too. Saying, "I am worthy," even when you feel broken, is not lying, it's healing. It's choosing to believe that there is more to you than this moment, that you are more than your reproductive system, that your femininity is not defined by your ability to conceive, that you are a masterpiece in progress, not a mistake waiting to be fixed. I know it's hard. I know that when another pregnancy test reads negative, it feels like your body has betrayed you again. I know how easy it is to compare, to look at others with their babies and feel left behind. But comparison is a thief. It steals your joy, your peace, your clarity, and harsh self-talk. That's its accomplice. Every time you call yourself a failure, you are handing your power away. So take it back. Start by interrupting that cruel inner dialogue. When the voice in your head starts spiraling with blame and shame, pause. Breathe and say something different. Say, "I am doing my best." Say, "My story is unfolding." Say, "This does not define me." Even if you don't believe it at first, keep saying it, because what you repeatedly hear becomes what you eventually believe. And belief is everything. It fuels your resilience, it restores your hope, it shifts your posture from defeat to dignity. Kindness to yourself is not weakness, it's warfare. It's choosing to be your own ally in the fight for your miracle. So wake up tomorrow and start again. Look in the mirror and say something gentle. Write affirmations on your walls. Set reminders in your phone. Surround yourself with voices that uplift, not diminish. And when you falter, because you will, don't shame yourself for that either. Just begin again. Speak kindly to yourself, because you are listening, and you deserve words that nourish, not wounds that linger. Acknowledge the storm without letting it drown you. That's easier said than done when you're right in the middle of it, when your days are filled with appointments, test results, unanswered prayers, and a quiet ache you can't even explain to the people closest to you. Infertility isn't just a medical condition. It's an emotional and spiritual battlefield, one that wages war on your peace, your identity, and sometimes even your belief in miracles. And yet, the first step to surviving that storm and ultimately overcoming it is to stop pretending it doesn't exist. You don't have to fake strength. You don't have to smile at baby showers when your heart is breaking. You don't have to say, "I'm fine," when you're not. Because ignoring pain doesn't make it go away. It only makes it grow deeper inside you, where it festers in silence. And silence can be suffocating. But here's the thing, acknowledging the storm isn't weakness. It's actually the most courageous thing you can do. It's standing up in the middle of the chaos and saying, "Yes, this hurts. Yes, I'm confused. Yes, I'm grieving something that hasn't even happened yet." That honesty is sacred. That transparency is strength. Pain that's hidden can't be healed. So speak it out. Cry when you need to. Pray in desperation. Scream into your pillow if that's what it takes. You are not required to be graceful all the time. Some days you will be messy. Some days you'll feel numb. Some days you'll just want to give up, and that's okay. Those feelings don't make you weak, they make you human, and you weren't created to numb your way through life. You were created to live fully, even in the valley, but don't let the storm define who you are. Don't let it convince you that this is all there is. Pain has a way of shrinking your perspective. It whispers lies that you'll never be enough, that this is your fault, that joy has left the building forever. Don't believe those lies, because storms are powerful, yes, but they are also temporary. They move, they pass, and the you that will emerge after the storm, if you keep standing, if you keep hoping, will be someone stronger, softer, wiser, and infinitely more resilient than the one who entered it. You see, resilience isn't pretending everything's okay. It's learning how to breathe even when your chest feels heavy. It's waking up, brushing your teeth, facing the world again, even with a cracked heart. It's choosing, day by day, not to drown in sorrow, but to wade through it, to let it shape you, but not shatter you. You are allowed to feel everything. You are allowed to process this grief, but you are not allowed to give up on yourself. Because this chapter, no matter how dark, is not the end. Storms bring rain, but they also bring growth. They uproot what needs to be shaken, and they make space for something new to take root. Let this be that space. Let this season, as painful as it is, be the soil where your next miracle is planted, not because it's easy, but because you are still here, still trying, still choosing to face the storm with open eyes and a quietly beating heart that refuses to give up. That is strength, that is power, and that is the beginning of breakthrough. Break the silence, speak life over your body. Silence can feel safe, especially when your pain is so personal, so raw, and so misunderstood. It's easier sometimes to keep it locked inside rather than explain to others something they may never fully grasp. But silence has a cost, and in the journey of infertility, that cost is often isolation, shame, and the slow erosion of your sense of self. But you weren't meant to suffer in the dark. You weren't created to shrink your story to fit into the comfort zones of those around you. Your voice is powerful not just for others, but for yourself. When you remain silent, pain festers. It creates room for lies to grow, lies that say you're not woman enough, that your body is failing you, that maybe you did something to deserve this. And the longer you stay silent, the more those lies feel like truth. That's why the journey to healing begins with words. Not just any words, words that speak life. Words that remind your body that it is loved, even if it feels like it's betraying you. Words that remind your spirit that it is seen and heard, even in the quietest of suffering. You must speak life not because you feel strong, but because your body needs to hear something different than criticism and blame. You must say, "I love you," to a womb that hasn't conceived yet. You must say, "Thank you for holding me together," to a body that's carried you through tears, treatments, and 10,000 unanswered questions. You must declare, even when it feels foolish, "I believe in healing. I believe in hope. I believe that motherhood is not out of reach. This is not some shallow self-help mantra. This is soul deep warfare, because in a world that constantly reminds you of what you don't have, speaking life is a radical act of faith, and you don't just need to say it to yourself, you need to say it aloud to others, to someone safe. You need to break the silence with a trusted friend, a support group, a counselor, a sister, a journal, or a God who still hears. Because when pain is spoken, it loses some of its power. And when someone else hears your story and says, "You are not alone," something begins to shift inside you. Your body is not the enemy. It may be exhausted, it may be overwhelmed, it may feel broken, but it is yours, and the only way to begin healing is to stop punishing it with silence. Every time you speak life, you are reclaiming ground. You are saying, "I'm still here, I'm still believing." And belief is a seed. It doesn't need to be loud, just consistent. Over time, those small declarations, those soft whispers of hope begin to grow roots. They anchor you, they give you breathe when the next wave of disappointment hits. They remind you that this story is still being written, so no more hiding, no more pretending that everything is fine when it's not. No more blaming your body for what it hasn't done. Speak kindly, speak boldly, speak with faith, because silence will always echo shame, but truth sets you free. And your truth, your voice, your declaration of life over death, hope over despair, and love over fear that might be the very thing that leads you to the miracle you've been waiting for. Align your body, mind, and spirit with faith and purpose. The journey through infertility is not just physical, it's spiritual and emotional warfare. It challenges everything, your beliefs, your identity, your sense of control. Many women focus entirely on the physical side: treatments, medications, tracking cycles, and those are important. But too often, we forget that our bodies do not operate in isolation. Your mind affects your body, your spirit affects your healing, your inner world has the power to influence your physical experience. This is why alignment matters, not perfection, but harmony. Everything in you must begin moving in the same direction, rooted in faith and pulled forward by purpose. Your body needs more than procedures, it needs peace. When you're constantly stressed, over-researching symptoms, comparing yourself to others, or carrying silent anxiety, your body feels that tension. The hormones responsible for conception are deeply affected by your emotional state. Chronic stress becomes internal noise. It confuses the body, disrupts cycles, blocks rest. That's why it's critical to slow down, breathe deeply, and make space for stillness. Meditation, prayer, deep rest, these are not luxuries. They are survival tools. They create space for your nervous system to regulate, for your heart to recalibrate, and for your spirit to reconnect with hope. The mind must be engaged too. This is not the time to surrender your mental health. Guard your thoughts. Speak truth over lies. When doubt whispers, maybe it's never going to happen. Speak back, but what if it does? When fear says your time has passed, respond, my story isn't finished. Because every thought you entertain becomes a seed. You either water fear or you water faith, and your mind is the soil. Choose what grows. Now, the spirit, the most overlooked part of this journey. You must nourish your spirit like you nourish your body. And spiritual alignment doesn't mean fake positivity or blind optimism. It means anchoring your soul in something deeper than results. It means returning again and again to the one who knows you better than any doctor ever could. It means releasing control, not giving up, but letting go of the obsession with timelines, outcomes, and perfection. There's a holy strength in surrender. When you say, I trust, even when I don't understand, you're not weak, you're wise. That kind of surrender realigns your heart with truth. It reminds you that your identity is not infertile, it is beloved, whole, still becoming, and then there's purpose. Purpose gives pain a container. It doesn't remove the ache, but it gives it direction. Aligning with purpose means asking, what can I learn here? Who can I help through this story? How can I grow through this waiting? Because when your life is rooted in something greater than just your circumstance, you gain perspective. You start to understand that this delay might be a detour not to hurt you, but to prepare you. Maybe you are being shaped into the mother your future child will need. Maybe your faith is being deepened. Maybe your voice is being refined, so one day you can be someone else's lifeline. This alignment, body, mind, and spirit is not a one-time fix. It's a daily discipline. Some days you'll feel in sync. Some days everything will feel off. That's okay. Just return again and again. Choose peace. Choose truth. Choose to feed your faith more than your fear. Because when all parts of you are aligned toward healing and purpose, something beautiful begins to unfold, a strength that can carry you through the storm, and a peace that prepares you for the promise. Let go of control, embrace the power of surrender. It's one of the hardest things to do, especially when you feel like your life is spinning in uncertainty. When you've done everything right, followed every rule, taken every supplement, prayed every prayer, and yet the outcome still isn't what you hoped for. It's natural to want to hold on tighter. You start believing that if you could just control every single variable, your diet, your schedule, your doctor, your sleep, your stress, then maybe, just maybe, you could force the miracle to happen. But control is an illusion. It may offer temporary comfort, but in the long run, it steals your peace, your joy, and your ability to simply breathe. Surrender is not weakness. It's not quitting. It's not giving up on your dream of becoming a mother. Surrender is strength in its most sacred form. It's the moment when you finally say, I'm tired of carrying this on my own. It's the decision to release your white-knuckled grip on every outcome, every plan, every deadline you've clung to for dear life. Surrender is not the loss of hope, it's the rediscovery of trust. Trust that there is a timing greater than yours. Trust that even in the waiting there is purpose. Trust that your worth is not dependent on your ability to conceive. When you surrender, you're not saying, I don't care. You're saying, I care enough to find peace even when I don't have answers. You're giving yourself permission to rest. You're allowing your body and soul the space to stop striving and start healing. You're choosing to believe that your story can still be beautiful, even if the path isn't what you pictured. Because striving every second physically, mentally, emotionally is exhausting. And exhaustion is not the birthplace of miracles. Stillness is. Faith is. And yes, surrender is scary. We think if we let go, we're going to lose everything. But what if it's the very act of letting go that makes room for the breakthrough? What if the clenched fists that have tried to hold everything together are the same fists that have been blocking the flow of grace, of peace, of possibility? Sometimes the tightest grip is what keeps us from receiving what was meant for us all along. Your miracle may not come in the way you imagined, but that doesn't mean it's not coming. So what does surrender look like in real life? It looks like taking a deep breath when fear starts to rise. It looks like trusting the process even when you're terrified of more disappointment. It looks like saying, God, I don't know how, but I know you can. It looks like lighting a candle and praying even when your heart feels numb. It looks like letting go of timelines and opening your hands to divine timing. It looks like learning how to live in the now, not in a future that hasn't happened yet or a past that still haunts you. This doesn't mean you stop hoping. You still take steps. You still ask. You still believe. But you do it from a place of peace, not pressure, from surrender, not desperation, because surrender isn't passive, it's powerful. It says, I trust that I am being led. It invites grace into the equation. It releases anxiety and makes space for miracles. And maybe, just maybe, surrender is not the end of your fight. Maybe it's the beginning of your transformation. Prepare to be the mother you're praying to become. Even before you see 2 pink lines, even before you hear the heartbeat or feel the first kick start preparing. Not out of pressure, not because you're trying to earn the miracle, but because preparation is a declaration of faith. It's your soul saying, I believe this is possible. It's you stepping into alignment with the future you've been asking for. When you prepare, you shift from wishing to expecting, and that subtle shift changes everything. Expectation awakens something inside you. It calls forth hope. It invites the impossible to become real. Most people wait for confirmation before they act. But in the journey of infertility, where waiting becomes a lifestyle, you cannot afford to live suspended in uncertainty. You must build your life like the miracle is on its way, not in a fantasy, but in a grounded, intentional way. That might mean journaling letters to the child you haven't met yet. It might mean creating a small corner in your home, not a full nursery, but a space that says, I have room in my life for you. It might mean picking out names and whispering them in prayer. It might even mean reading parenting books, not because you're obsessed, but because you're expectant. There's something powerful about acting in faith before the evidence shows up. It turns your waiting season into a preparation season, and when you're in preparation, your heart begins to change. You start seeing through different eyes. You make choices not from lack, but from love. You stop living as a victim of delay and start living as a woman preparing to nurture life whenever and however it arrives. Because motherhood doesn't begin at conception. It begins in the heart, and preparing your heart with wisdom, patience, compassion, and vision is just as important as preparing your body. And yes, I know what you're thinking. What if it never happens? Won't it hurt more if I prepare? That fear is real. But here's a deeper truth. The pain of never hoping again is far worse than the pain of preparing and still waiting. Because when you shut down hope, you shut down possibility. You lock the doors on joy, imagination, and faith. But when you prepare, even in the face of uncertainty, you're choosing to keep those doors open, and miracles walk through open doors. Preparing is also practical. Start treating your body like a vessel of life, even if you're still in the waiting. Speak kindly to it, nourish it, respect it. Build rhythms of rest and joy into your routine. Create a schedule that reflects calm and clarity, not chaos and stress. Ask yourself, what kind of mother do I want to be? And start becoming her now, not after the test result, now, because this journey is shaping you. It's not just about what you receive, it's about who you become. And when the day comes, because I believe it will, when you finally hold that child, you'll realize that all the preparation wasn't in vain. It was sacred. It was necessary. It was the unfolding of your soul into the shape of a mother. So don't just wait. Wait and prepare. Wait and believe. Wait and become. Because motherhood is not only a biological event, it is a calling, and you're already stepping into it one faithful act, one hopeful preparation, one quiet yes at a time.